Welcome back to the Timeline Ranch. It's a beautiful day, a little windy, but I can still get some more little projects done. I'm gonna work on the heat exchanger first because can't take a warm shower without it. So I'll get that done and then plan on taking the trailer and getting that cleaned out all the way, and we'll see how much day we have left after that. Let's get started. A lot of people make heat exchangers. There's a bunch of videos out there on YouTube showing them, and of course they work, but they don't ever do a follow-up video years later after they've been using it and reveal the issues with it. So the issues I've found is if the coal is directly touching the copper's not going to have water in it all the time, so the time it doesn't, it gets as hot as the coal and it causes it to have heat stress cracks. You see one right there. So my solution to it is the new and improved heat exchanger I made. Took some 3/16 plate steel, diamond plate, cut the circle to fit inside that barbecue pit, cut a hole in the middle for the fresh air intake, and draw the air up through the bottom there so it'll keep the fire going good. I put this 2-inch Schedule 40 nipple on here so that this chamber in the bottom part of the barbecue pit is still kind of trapped. It traps that heat in there to keep the water picking up as much heat as possible. So if I didn't have that there, the cool air would come in through that hole and pull this heat back up through the top, and I don't want that to happen. So the heat will transfer through into the copper and heat and water, and hopefully that should fix the issue with the heat stress cracks, because it's not going to get as hot since it's not touching it directly. Pretty simple little concept. I think it'll work good. Got a couple of copper unions here to tie on to the existing lines that come out of the pit there. Fixing to cut those off and pull out the old heat exchanger. That's going to go to the scrap yard because it's not really good for anything else. Looks like the bottom of this pit's about rotted out anyway. It's probably good I'm putting this plate in there to keep the fire off of it. Yeah, the hole saw was grabbing, so I'm going to have to use the Sawzall to finish it out. Let's see if it fits. I'm ready to cut some more out of that one. I think that's big enough for the steel nipple to go through, but copper tubing's not going to fit. Well, it's not the prettiest, but it'll fit in there now after beating and prying on it for about 10 minutes. Yeah, the bottom was pretty far gone on this thing. This new plate will last for a good long while. It doesn't matter if the bottom really falls out or not. Well, let's get this in there and connect our pipes, and we can put some water in it, make sure everything's good. So I looked around, but apparently I shortchanged myself some sandpaper. So in a pinch, got some duct tape, rubbed it in the sand. I think it'll work for a couple cleanings anyway. Well, I got the heat exchanger all buttoned up. Yeah, for now I just threw some gravel sand mix in around the edges. You know, as I use it, ashes will build up and I'll just pack the ashes in around it so it doesn't get, you know, the coals don't get directly on the copper pipe that's at the edge there. I think it's going to work real good. No leaks. That first batch of flux really didn't look like it was good though. The solder was beading, it wasn't going in very good. When I changed the other flux, it sucked it up real good. Should be good to go. We'll get a good test tonight. I ran water through it for about 15 minutes. Everything's dry, so should be good. Well, off to the next little project. That's the heat exchanger that came out of there. Yeah, it was paper thin right there where the coal had been sitting on it. Yeah, you can't have it directly on in the fire. The copper gives out after a while. I'm ready to get these big old beams I've been sitting on there at the house, waiting for a good opportunity to get them out here. It's been over 2 years now. Been waiting for a time when I didn't have enough time to bring the excavator and was sure that the roads probably wouldn't be too tore up from the rains. It'll work good on that building to support that second floor. Well, I'll back it up over there on the edge of the road and get this thing dumped. I'll take the straps off once I get it over there. I'm afraid the beams might start sliding. Well, that came out nicely. I think I'm gonna put some water on the trees now. Haven't watered them yet this trip. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. Feeling pretty tired after that 3 hours of sleep and all that driving yesterday. It was still a productive day, I would say. Well, if you'd like to help the ranch build go a lot faster, there's a few ways to do that in the description. Buy me a coffee is one, Amazon link is another. Every little bit will get me closer to being out here full time and being able to work on the ranch all the time instead of just a few weeks out of the year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.